From beating Real Madrid and becoming one of the biggest clubs in the world to struggle in minor South American tournaments. What happens to Boca? It's 2012. Boca Juniors, one of the most successful clubs in South American football, faces Corinthians in the Copa Libertadores final. This match marks the beginning of a downward spiral for Boca in international competitions.
Libertadores de 2012 o Corinthians. Alta Gavião.
3 Libertadores finals in a row, and Boca lost them all. Why? In the 2000s, Boca won the Copa Libertadores and went to Japan to play the Club World Cup against Real Madrid, beating them by 2-1. They kept on winning the Libertadores in 2001 and the Intercontinental Cup in 2003 against Milan. The likes of Martín Palermo, Juan Román Riquelme and Carlos Bianchi used to play for Boca and are responsible for most of the history the club made in the early 2000s. But in one particular moment, just like the likes on this video, there was a shift. The beautiful fairy tale that the club was living found an end. Mauricio Macri, the Boca Juniors president at that time, decided to stop pursuing his dreams as a football club president and began his political journey, using his success at the club as a platform to secure later success, becoming mayor of the city of Buenos Aires in 2007 and then president of Argentina in 2016. Some presidents proceeded in Boca with his same ideals, but it wasn't until 2011 that Daniel Angelici got in charge of the club. On paper, he was seen as Mauricio Macri's chosen one to continue his legacy, but reality was that the people behind him were completely different. And although it could be argued that Boca under Angelici made it to 2 different Copa Libertadores finals, the truth is that he slowly began to become less popular. For 2 main reasons. Although they made it to 2 finals and won a few national championships, the Boca Juniors of the 2000s left extremely high standards, and losing 2 finals wasn't acceptable, especially the way they happened.
Aumenta a vantagem do Corinthians, 2-0 no Pacaembu.
Jugadores extenuados. Este reclamo.
Casi no son Córdoba que son el pato en la Copa. Tiro de esquina.
Angelici's good press declined over the years as his relationship with some club legends. The 2010s were years where Boca prioritized its global positioning, making moves that even went against some club managers, for example Guillermo Tevez-Schelotto. In 2016, the club legend was appointed to the job as a manager and brought Carlitos Tevez to the squad. A year later, the manager decided not to bring Tevez to the Joan Gamper final against Barcelona, and the president pushed his presence to a limit, almost causing Schelotto's departure from the club. This is an example of a club taking its global positioning to an insane limit. The Joan Gamper final was just the beginning of a complicated relationship between Guillermo Schelotto and Boca's best player, Carlos Tevez, ending in the 2018 Libertadores final, where Tevez did not start and Boca lost against River Plate in Madrid. And this shows how easy the team morale can be affected by the club's financial and social situation. The drama, mixed with the lack of international silverware and the extremely high standards left in the 2000s, eventually meant that Angelici's time at Boca was done and that a change was needed. And this is when the chaos we live in began. The Boca scene saw a new character. Or not that new. Juan Román Riquelme, one of the club's biggest legends, became the vice president. Juan Román Riquelme won the Boca elections by a lot. He was seen as the new face that would give back the Xeneixes their identity and glory days.
Ah, yes, the sun is back. Not like Boca, that's still struggling and very badly, but you can understand the reason behind all of this.
It is undeniable that Boca Juniors has always been more than just a football club. It's a symbol. And like any powerful institution, it's inherently political. The conflict between Mauricio Macri and Juan Román Riquelme has more to do with their perception of reality rather than a clash of personalities. On one side you have Macri, who transformed Boca into a winning machine in the late 90s and early 2000s, using the club as a springboard for his political career, becoming a symbol of right-wing politics in Argentina. On the other side you have Riquelme, a club legend on the pitch who later entered the political arena of Boca with a different vision, more connected to the fans and the grassroots of the club. In a club as big as Boca Juniors, it's no surprise that tensions arise. After all, Boca is not just a club, it's a reflection of Argentine society, and Argentina, like most of Latin America, is deeply polarized. The divide between Macri and Riquelme is more than just football, it's about how people see the world, and in a region prone to political extremism, these tensions can be stark.
Nowadays, it seems like supporting Riquelme means that you support a particular political party in Argentina. While otherwise, if you support Macri, you support the right wing and, for example, Javier Milei.
But here's the thing, this division might be one of the reasons why Boca has struggled in recent years. The lack of dialogue, the refusal to find a common ground has led to a fractured club, where neither Macri nor Riquelme can be 100% right, but both fear being labeled as either too right-wing or too left-wing, if they acknowledge the other's ideas. The truth is, Boca's failure to win those recent Libertadores finals might have a lot to do with the lack of unity.
If they only could work together and bring the best out of both worlds, Boca could be back on the winning path and finally be the club it used to be.
It's clear that Boca is the biggest club in Argentina, meaning that it somehow represents the Argentine society at some point. Boca has way too many problems to be as divided as it is. The supporters want a bigger stadium and winning silverware. The rest is anecdotic. A club administration has little to do with state policy, but in the days we live in, social media, news outlets, and even culture seems to be actively trying to trigger us, probably for more interactions.
And I really do not think that neither Macri or Riquelme want something different than Boca to be back to its glory days. It's our job as individuals to stay open to new ideas and dialogue. Maybe this way, Boquita will be back on the winning track. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing and liking this video. You can also check out my Patreon in the links down below.